What's up, guys? This is my first driving video, not instructional driving, but first video I'm gonna make while driving. Don't worry, my hands are on the wheel. Everything is safe. I didn't really have an agenda when I wanted to make this video. It was more of a, I'm going out to chill. There's been a lot these last little bit, and as I'm sure everyone tends to get busy. I've been kind of getting pulled in a lot of different directions, and sometimes I forget that I have to step back. I have to remember that I am a more resilient person these days, and it's not that I don't use coping skills and that I don't rely on some of those coping skills and whatnot that aren't necessarily permanent, but I these days still become complacent with where my mind may go when things start to get a little unruly, if you will. These days, especially right now, this fall has become very busy, and whether it's the speaking circuit, podcasts, setting up our own, the other book, just there's a lot of things out there, and then there's family life, right? And much like when we're on the job, as first responders, we sometimes we forget about like the family stuff, and it factors in, boys and girls, let me tell you. And there's a lot going on in our house right now, especially with my wife, and it's I felt it today. I actually and I may post some pictures later. I was out with Riley. We did our walk that we do quite a bit out on the rail trail, and my head just started spinning. I was just like literally, like not just like a figure of speech spinning. Like I had to sit down, and luckily there was this group of benches there, and I sat, and Riley's like, "Dad, you okay?" And I'm like, everything just hit me, and thank God it did. Thank God it did, because it made me realize that I was burying it, like we do with this stuff, with stress. We put it aside. We're like, oh, it's just life. We have to power through this. We have to do this. And what I wasn't doing was I wasn't, dealing with it. I was just like, no, we have to do this. We have to take on this, that. And I wasn't dealing with the power and even the feelings associated with some of these things. And it's a lot. There's a lot of things going on in our lives, both as a society and personally in my life, that I was almost slipping back into old behavior. As much as I like to sit there and preach and be like, hey, listen to me, I got it all together. Sometimes even I don't have it all together, boys and girls. And today, it was one of those things where luckily something stepped in and was like, hey, listen, pal, you got to deal with some of this stuff. You're getting overrun. You're getting pulled in more directions than you can physically get pulled in, and it's starting to wear on you. And if you don't do something about it, it's going to have a worse effect on you than you get dizzy and having to sit. And so one of the things I often talk about in a lot of my videos, in a lot of my posts, whatever it is that you can't become complacent with this stuff. It will rear its head on you when you let your guard down, and this is an example of that happening in my life. Even as strong as a person I am, and how much of an advocate I am with this, it happened today, and it's been happening for a while. We've been feeling it as a family, and it's tough, because even with most of what is causing me to be so busy, it's all good stuff. It's all stressful at times because it's so much, but it's all good stuff. It's all about the stigma. Almost everything that I'm involved in, short of like building some stuff around the house and the honey-do list, if you will, almost all of it is in regards to what I do. And so it's all good stuff, but I'm literally getting stressed out and overrun and getting complacent with not dealing with things that are all about me trying to get people to stop doing that and trying to bring it's ironic. And I guess my life has always been sort of an irony. So this just fits perfectly into it. And some of you watching this are probably going to be like, it's just Hanks. And it is. It's me. But that's why I chose to do this video while I'm driving, because I'm taking a little me time. I'm taking a little namaste right now, which I know is silly. Some of you are like, oh, I was driving comedy. I live in the country, folks. All right, I purposely live in the country now, and I love it. And yeah, I'm meeting some people because the road I'm on is 124 out in New Hampshire, and it's sort of like the main drag out to Mass, the Townsend area up through back to Keene and Peterborough. But it's all woods. You know, I don't got a bunch of assholes trying to pull out in front of me and tailgate me and stuff, so I can calm down. And honestly, going for a ride or sitting by some water or whatever, but sometimes being behind the wheel on roads like this is what calms me down. And I realized today that I need to take some me time. And when I told my wife, I said to Adele, listen, I had a couple meetings this afternoon, and I'm like, I gotta step away. I gotta unplug. I gotta get out of the matrix for a little bit. And it is so important, folks, that you get out of the matrix once in a while. And life is so demanding, and with technology the way it is, it's made our lives easier, but in some way, because we're so connected, it's made us always on, especially us who want to know what's going on in the world, or who want to know what's going on with our friends, family, whatever it is. Me, with what I do, I'm always checking different things to see what's going on, stats, information, researching, upon all the other shit I'm doing. I'm always connected, and sometimes even I forget that, something, unplug it. Don't even plug in the wall to charge yourself. Just unplug, get off the grid. And that's what I do. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a 20-minute ride to get gas, because the place that I go and get gas is 20 minutes from my house, is the cheapest in the region, and so it's worth it. But also, it gets me out of my house. It gets me away from everything. It doesn't allow me to go in my shop and build shit, because I really just need to stop and just focus on me. And a lot of times when I do the videos or even some of the posts I do, I'm doing these when I'm out taking my time, taking me time, namaste, mindfulness, whatever it might be, because that's when my head's the clearest, and that's when I can come up with this stuff that people actually, well, at least I think people are listening to or watching. And my overall message with a lot of this is, don't become complacent with the mental health stuff. And I'm not even so much with PTSD. I preach a lot about that, but life is hectic these days, and a lot of us who are on the road of recovery, not two. I feel that I'm in recovery with my trauma and stuff. I've put a lot of tools in my toolbox, and I use those tools a lot. And some of them are just on autopilot. Some of them pop up and bang that nail in when it needs to be banged in, when it pops out a little bit. But some of them I have to consciously do. And this is one of those situations that I literally have to physically take that wrench out, or that hammer out, or whatever it may be, and I have to go to work myself, because most of me has gotten so complacent with what is happening that the autopilot tools, if you will, resources, whatever they are, can't do anything about them. And and they shouldn't be. I need to physically get involved and cut this thing off at the pass, because I can feel it. And it's not that I don't want anyone to think I was going down a dark spiral, or I was gonna end up suicide. It's not always about ending up depressed. Mental health is mental health, and mental health is about not living an anxious life all the time, not being completely stressed out, not being depressed, not being suicidal, not dwelling on the negative. It's all of it. It's about trying to live a mentally healthy life. It's like not eating a donut and maybe eating toast instead. It's the same thing. Instead of dwelling, you deal with things and you process things and you file when they need to go, that kind of thing. It's not always about leading to depression or horrible things, But I knew today when my head started spinning and I, told Riley I had to stop and sit, I knew that was my body being like, hey kid, you're right to the point where you're going to crash. And so many of us try to push past that, and I have lived a life where I have numerous times tried to push past that, and it hasn't ended very well. And today I could feel it, and so today, this ride, everything that I have been doing so far today, since I realized that, so that was this morning. I'm making this video about 4:30 on a Friday afternoon now. This afternoon has been about consciously being aware that I am a little overrun. And as people, we have to, if we want to be mentally healthy, we have to keep a tab on these things. And that's really the message today, folks. Even those of us who practice it every day, a lot of you have reached out and been like, hey, how do you do this? And some have reached out in some of my recent presentations and podcasts, been like, hey, tell me more on how you do this. And I usually get back to these people and tell them, but this is one of those things. If you're looking for a how I do this, this is how I do it. Sometimes by the seat of my pants. Sometimes it's I'm learning new tactics as I go, because my body and my mind are learning ways to overrun some of the things I've put into place, some of the tactics I've been using for a while now. My body and my mind, as many people, as most of us are, very adaptable. And that can be some of the scary part with mental health, is you have to keep on it, because you may become complacent, but your body is constantly learning and evolving, and your mind is constantly learning and evolving, and it will find a way to go around some of these things. And so you got to keep on them, folks. You really do. And today, that is what I'm trying to push on you: is don't become complacent. Be on your toes with this. That doesn't mean you have to be hyper vigilant with it. I'm not talking about hypervigilance. I'm talking about don't be like, I got this. And sometimes even Keith Hanks does get a little cocky. And I got a little cocky, and my body said, knock it the fuck off. And here I am. I'm taking a 20-minute ride to the Country Mile in Greenville to get gas and take a breather. So take your 20-minute ride to get gas, maybe take a 10-minute walk to the nearest body, whatever it is, and take some you time. All right, folks? So have a good weekend. This is going to be my video for this week. It's been a while, I know. Like I said, crazy. All good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming down the pipe. I'll be able to share more as we move forward. But I love you all. To all my first responders out there, still plugging away. All my military friends, still plugging away. Thank you guys for all you do. My nurses, doctors, all of you, especially my wife, frontline. Thank you guys for not tossing in the towel yet. It's been a hell of a couple years. We're not completely through it yet, and there's a lot of bullshit happening, but I praise each and every one of you. Keep watching. When I post this, I will, again, put a link to my YouTube and all that happy horse shit. So, drive safe. If you're going to video yourself while driving, make sure you have your phone mounted on something, and you're not trying to hold it and drive like a dickhead, even though around these parts you'd fit right in. All right, much love. Take it easy, guys.